All right. Welcome to System.Debug. Got a couple of friendly faces for you tonight. We've got David Todd. We've got Steve Harris. Say hi, Steve.
Howdy.
All right. Steve Harris is going to be in Florida. Tonight, we are talking about TrailheaDX. There will be no System.Debug bump because my co-hosts are missing. Where'd they go? We don't know. Let's find out tonight. And then this is normally where a system, like the thing goes. I wonder if they're watching and going, is he really embarrassing us like this?
Sound clip.
So maybe Ryan will throw it in for all you iTunes fans, like so you'll at least have the normalcy
It'll
for
be
it.
like he'll merge it in later.
Right. That's what that's what he does. He normally like gets them all off and then he puts them on. He takes the shows off the YouTubes and then he converts them to audio and then puts them up on YouTube or iTunes.
Nice.
I like it.
So right off the bat, I do want to make sure that we make a couple of announcements about job availability. For those of you who missed our post on Encino, if you visit our last episode, there should be a link to it, and I'm going to go ahead and put one on this episode as well. Also, if you look us up on Twitter or just Google search Encino, they're hiring. And also, we are looking for developers here at Map Anything, and Slalom is a consulting agency, and they're based kind of like all over the United States and Canada. Almost all their jobs are here. In the continental U.S. and right now they are looking for senior Salesforce developers in Atlanta, Boston, Dallas, Houston, New York City, San Francisco, and Seattle. As well, they are looking for solution architects for Atlanta, Boston, Dallas, Minneapolis, New York City, San Francisco, and functional SFDC consultants for Dallas and Minneapolis. So if you fit any of those criteria and want to look up the Slalom career page, go for it. Otherwise, we will also post a link below, and I will be tweeting it out. Hopefully, we'll be tweeting it out, System.Debug, later this week, to make sure that we can direct you all to the correct pages. So, in other news, for approaching conventions, remember, Midwest Dreamin' is next month, August 10th and 11th. And following that, as I've always said, witness success, going to be a great time. Make sure that you show up. It will be the 11th and the 12th. Also, make sure to be paying attention to your feeds in your area for Lightning Tour, which is going to be big this year. And a lot of cool things are coming out of it. A lot of great things are being said about it. So if you get a chance to make it, be there, as well as any Salesforce tours that are in your area. So that being said, why are my guests here and not my co-hosts? Tonight we're going to talk about TrailheaDX. My co-hosts happened to not make it to TrailheaDX and so didn't have much to share on the subject. That being said, I have brought two experts who did happen to be at TrailheaDX, and they are going to be sharing with us today their experiences at that convention.
Oh, we had a good time.
That we did.
It was a lot of fun.
We have David Todd.
Hello.
And we have Stephen Harris.
Howdy.
Steve, you are where?
I am in Daytona Beach, Florida right now.
Okay, rub it in a little.
Yeah, based here. It's all right. It's getting ready to storm. It's not the Sunshine State right now, so.
Well, it still looks pretty sunny from
even in paradise, a little rain must fall.
Right.
Yes, exactly. It's that time of the night where it rains every day.
Every day in Florida.
Yeah.
So before we get to some pictures that we're going to share and kind of show some of our experience, I'd like to talk about some of the sessions that everybody attended and maybe some of the things that you guys liked about the convention or didn't like about it. Let's start with, Steve, what was probably from your takeaway, what was the best session that you probably attended? If there was just one.
Professionally, it was the Salesforce CPQ one that it was the 3 hacks to the Salesforce CPQ platform, and we're in the process of implementing Salesforce CPQ. So I learned a lot from that. It was a half-hour session and gave us a couple tricks that were not publicly known. So
what is CPQ? Like, I know that's been big since Dreamforce.
CPQ used to be Steelbrick, and I guess Steelbrick was around for a while, and Salesforce bought out Steelbrick last year and turned it into Salesforce CPQ, which is contracts, pricing, and quotes, or products and quotes. It goes interchangeably. But it's a easier way to develop quotes and building bundles and certain options for different products that you're trying to apply to opportunities.
I got you. Now, just for your viewers, Steve is an admin developer, so he definitely focuses more on the admin side, which is one of the reasons that we wanted to bring him into our show today, because even though TrailheaDX is typically geared towards developers, we had a growth of, 6,500 attendees this year. I think last year it was something like 500, max 1,000, and I guarantee it didn't hit that much. I'm almost positive it was in the 300 to 500
Vic said it was 1,000, but
maybe with the free keynotes, but it definitely didn't feel like that. But this year I think I heard rumors of 7,000 attendees, and so it definitely grew a lot. There were definitely a lot more admins here this time, and I feel that that's going to be a trend moving forward, especially for admin developers like Steve. Would you feel the same way, or?
Yeah, it was for my first TrailheaDX. It was huge. There was a lot of people there. I wasn't expecting that many attendees, but it was a lot of fun. The networking that was involved with it. Unfortunately, the amount of people that were there, it was tough to get to all the different sessions, kind of like Dreamforce. So you really have to plan out your days and hit the key ones that you really want to attend.
Yeah, I mean that's for sure. I mean, Steve was right. There was a lot of people there.
There was a lot.
But it was really cool because there was a lot of people there. But it was because it wasn't quite as bad as Dreamforce. Like
but you can feel the scale
but
there.
Yeah, there was definitely.
Yeah. I feel like it's going to scale. That's kind of something that, like, it's almost a fear of mine, and I understand the purpose behind it, and bare minimum, Salesforce is a business, right? So anything they can do to make money, that can promote their platform, that can get people to give them a reason to keep existing, they're going to market off of it, and there's nothing wrong with that. I would expect that of any business, big or small, right? That being said, I felt a lot less. I guess you could. I mean, intimate's a bad word, but I felt like a lot closer to the experience last year than one this year. This year, I felt like there really wasn't a huge difference between this and Dreamforce for me.
Well, there is a huge difference. There's a lot more people going to Dreamforce, right?
No, right, but when you're,
like 200,000.
But at Moscone West, if you were going to Dreamforce, and the Moscone Center is also, it's seen about the same size. Moscone
and
West
that's what I was
what's
saying.
going on with Dreamforce.
Yeah,
you still had the Trailhead section, then you still had the sections that were in there, and then the keynote. So it felt like a small Dreamforce there.
Yeah, everything was in that one room. Everything, and there's reasons, obviously, you wouldn't keep, like, you wouldn't rent out space that you can't afford to fill.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. But to Steve's point, when you're only spending your entire convention in the same place that the developer forest was, I believe. Was the developer forest on the first floor?
No, it was on the second floor.
Okay, and the admin meadow was on the first floor.
Something like that.
Okay,
yeah.
But either way, it had the exact same experience from a developer perspective.
Yeah, I think it did too, because
Salesforce.
because at Dreamforce I spent most of my time on the second floor, which was very similar to what we saw at TrailheaDX. So that was I thought it was very similar, but it was basically taking out all the other sessions and things that we
right, and I agree that that's how that happened this time.
Yeah.
I just wonder about next year.
Like, you think it'll?
I think when they scale, when it doubles or triples in sizes next year, and they realize, like, we've got so many more attendees, and there really just isn't enough developer topics or presenters, for that matter, that you're going to start presenting on admin stuff, and then the next thing you know, it's just Dreamforce in July.
Dreamforce, yeah. Well, maybe we might all need to step up our game and present more.
No, and I definitely agree that it does come down to the community members, right?
Yeah.
It comes down to the community members to actually submit your want to do a session and to present, and if you're not doing it, then you're hurting everybody besides just yourself.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
And the admin, I don't know about the developers as much, but the admin community is growing, every day. How certain number of people are getting their certifications over and over, the advanced admin, the platform builders, all of them. So that community is growing drastically, and it's only going to continue to grow, which is good.
No, absolutely. And we find that, like, I know I get made fun of my arm chart. If you ever watched my first episode, RJ really makes fun of my arm chart. But I feel like the developer scale is gone from down here of, like, we only 1 or 2 developers. But now the need for them, arm chart. RJ, I hope you're watching, since you're missing this episode, that I'm doing this for you, bro.
Arm chart.
I know he's sitting in his home right now going, stop talking about me.
You're kind of getting ready to go into song, like the YMCA.
There we go. But yeah, so I do feel that, like, the need for developers is growing drastically.
Yeah.
Everybody I reach out to, and I don't even have to reach out for people. It's like, you and I are both the leaders for the Atlanta community Salesforce developer user group, right?
Yeah.
And I know that I'm constantly being hit up. So you must be constantly being hit up about, like, companies saying, can we sponsor you? how do we sponsor you?
Yeah.
Right.
What can we do to get involved? Yeah.
Right. Because they want developers.
But not only that, I mean, we don't get hundreds of people coming to our meetups, but we do have 900 and some odd members. So we've got a lot of developers in the group, but that not all of those.
No, we usually only get about 50 to 60.
Yeah.
A meetup, but we usually meet once a month. So when you think about that, it's not like 50 or 60 4 times a year. It's 50 or 60 a month.
Yeah, twice a month really for us when we do it. Yeah.
Right.
But you know, I got an email about Salesforce developers. Did you see it today? Did you guys get that too? Maybe it was like, I think it was like, you know, something about there's 95 or 10,000 open Salesforce developer positions in the U.S. right now.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah.
Hands down. I mean, I absolutely believe it. Yeah. So favorite session you attended? Please don't choose.
So
one.
we saw a few sessions, but we didn't see too many sessions, right? So we did see that one lightning session that was pretty cool.
Oh, the one on the stage.
Yes.
In the admin zone.
Yeah, that was very cool.
Or was it the admin? I don't know what it was called.
Zone.
No, it was the lightning. It was the lightning zone. I apologize. It was over by the lightning, but it was like that stage in the corner.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a really good.
That was cool. That was cool stuff. Yeah.
I personally really did enjoy the keynote.
That was because they had so many good things.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So there's did I not upload that one picture? Oh, there's a couple pictures over there.
We'll get to some pictures here. We'll talk about them in a second. Why don't we just start going through them now, huh?
I think Leah knocked that keynote out of the park. Her energy when she was there was incredible.
Amazing. The way she talked about DX.
Yeah.
I mean, you would have sold me if I wasn't sold already.
And the presentation was awesome. It was just everything she did and said and showed. It was just fantastic.
All right, so we're gonna do our best here to kind of talk about some of these pictures. If you're listening because you're on your car stereo or whatever have you, I do apologize. We will try to give you as much description as we can as we kind of like walk through some of these. They're kind of fun. A lot of our experiences. I had Steve and David share their photos that they wanted to share.
Where were you in the hotel lobby?
Yeah, we were in the hotel lobby. This was right when we got there. Our company had said, hey. Our marketing person had said, hey, do you mind making sure that we get some pictures of the convention? And so I sent this one to her immediately. Said, you got it, dude. Like, old Michelle Tanner. So that was me and David, and we actually did get to stay at the Intercontinental, which was right next door to the convention. Never stayed that close to Moscone.
Oh, it was awesome too.
Oh wow, yeah, it was nice.
It was awesome. Just kind of walk next door, get some swag, throw it back in the hotel, walk back.
It was really cool.
And then the weather was awesome right next to you too.
Oh right.
Yeah. Oh, the pub. Yeah. The weather was awesome. I mean, look at this picture.
You have blue skies. You got Salesforce Tower. It's almost all the way up. That was like one of the neatest things. I think I don't know if it's in here or not, but there was a picture where we were all out in the hallway trying to get a picture of us with the Salesforce Tower in the background.
Yeah, it's in there.
It's so dark. You can't really see it.
There's a dark one and a light version.
Is there? Okay.
Yeah.
So this is kind of us right at the right when we were getting our registration. You know, obviously they always have the big things hanging out, like the giant Astros and plastic figurines. So everyone takes a big shot with them. You know, we've got a bunch of our Ohana.
Yeah, these are some great people. I was at Melinda and Gabriella. Monica.
Monica.
Yeah, I mean, just awesome.
That's right.
All awesome.
Here was the so the very first night, and typical of most Salesforce conventions, a lot of companies likes to sponsor little get-togethers. You know, it gets them a chance to put their name out, hand out a little swag privately. Indeed was doing that for this one. They, you know, we all got little inserts. It was Indeed, correct?
No, it was Get Feedback.
Get Feedback.
Get Feedback. Get Feedback hosted this little soiree here, along with Monica's company, I believe, and she did an absolutely fantastic job getting the word out. Monica is one of those people, if you don't know her, who is absolutely one of the most fantastic people you will ever meet.
Yeah, go find her.
Super nice.
Yeah. Not as Monica, or not as blank Monica.
Not as blank Monica. You can follow her on Twitter. Yes, she is, I guarantee, one of the nicest people you will ever meet in your entire lives.
Yes,
super friendly.
Go follow her. She's great. Great people.
And find her at Dreamforce. She'll give you some shoe swag.
That's right. She will too. Like if you've ever seen
she had a little lightning swag.
That's where I get them from. So this was at the same bar we went event.
This was a Salesforce event that we crashed.
The Equality event. Right after that, early in the evening, Salesforce had a pretty open, I think, Equality event. David Todd was able to attend. I was exhausted.
I was there with Monica and a couple other people, and there was a lot of people hanging out, and playing board games. It was a good interaction of a mix of people there. It was a lot of fun.
Now, was this over at Salesforce's Trailhead headquarters? Was this down on?
No, this was this is their private gaming, like, lounge or something.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
It's not the one with like the coffee bar and stuff like that.
No, that was a different building.
Okay, because that's where they had the Friends of Trailhead breakfast, which was fantastic. This, if you've ever been to Moscone always looks the same for the most part, whether you're watching it on system.debug, you're at Dreamforce, or you happen to catch the latest episode of Silicon Valley. It's always going to be Moscone. It's always going to look the same. But in this case, they've obviously done a little bit to trailhead it up.
And you can see this. If you've ever gone to Dreamforce, you can see there's a lot less people there.
Yeah, but in that
Who
picture,
uploaded this? David, this is you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who takes a picture of someone taking a picture, David?
I didn't take a picture of you. I was taking a picture of the entrance of Trailhead.
No, let's be clear. You were taking a picture of me.
All right, if you want.
One thing that was in that last picture, if you notice, that wasn't at Dreamforce last year, which I'm not sure if they're going to do it this year, was that security, the security lines and the long lines out front.
That's a very good point.
One entrance. That if there's 200,000 people at Dreamforce, that's
slowed things down for quite a bit. Now, obviously, once the day started and got it rolling, and just to kind of like bring some context to it, what he's referring to for our listeners is that in this picture there is a metal detection station. It was the first time I've seen it at any of these events where they actually had hired security sweeping everybody as they came through, emptying pockets. I mean, it was TSA at Dreamforce. So I don't know how scalable that is.
Yeah, they're going to have to for Dreamforce, though.
It was definitely frustrating.
It really stinks that the world's come to this where we have to have this.
Yeah, it really does.
It's just because there's too many bad people.
Right. And so it was sad, understandable, like why we're doing it, why they're doing it, but it does slow stuff down. So at Dreamforce, anything else like that, just they did it for TrailheaDX. Just assume, at least that's what I'm going to do. This is going to be a thing moving forward. So we should be prepared for that. Show up a little early if you can.
Yeah.
More Trailhead.
Trailhead.
We did have our coworker Marty. Oh, so these backpacks. Oh my gosh, I've got to show you these backpacks. Give me 1 second. Why don't you go ahead and start talking about the backpack?
Yes. All right. So if you've ever been to Dreamforce or Trailhead DX last year, they give away these cool backpacks. And last year they gave a really cool backpack at Trailhead that I was kind of jealous of because I didn't get to go to that event. But this year it was even better than last year's backpack. Steve, what do you think about it? I mean, this thing just totally kicks butt. It's like a whole suitcase and everything. You put your clothes in there, man. It's got everything. It's like you can go camping with this thing.
It was great. It unfolds like a suitcase, and it's got those zippers on the inside. It's really nice. A lot nicer than the Dreamforce ones we got last year. But I heard the TrailheaDX ones from last year were really, really nice too. But these backpacks, they did a good job with them.
Yeah, this was totally awesome.
So, can you see me, Steve? Did I go off?
Nope,
okay.
You're there.
All right, cool. All right, so these are the backpacks this year. And to their point, last year's TrailheaDX backpack was by far the best Salesforce backpack I've ever gotten. Totally awesome. By far. I have so many people have asked me about them. And then they did this. And I'll tell you right now, my wife, it's gone. Like, it's already been claimed. She doesn't even realize it. She's watching right now. I told her I wasn't going to let her know. Like, I was going to let her explore on her own. But I got to show you guys all. So my favorite part about this backpack is that it is freaking luggage. The whole thing zips open and close like that, and then you have all these like extra little pockets here. Do I have like stickers falling out? Wicked. So it's got all these like really cool pockets. Oh my gosh, I got so many stickers.
Well, because you didn't clean out your bag when you got home.
Look at that.
Good job, buddy.
Yeah, a lot of little Trailhead stickers.
That's right. Speaking of, we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, super, super nice backpack. Probably the best one I've had so far by Salesforce, and it's already being confiscated from me.
So speaking of things being given away at TrailheaDX this year, what was the most important thing they gave away this year? The certificates.
Oh yeah, certificates.
Yes. Certificate vouchers to get certifications. How cool is that?
I thought that was a brilliant move on their part.
Yes, it was cool.
I'm very excited to study for them. They do expire in December, I believe. So if you do have them, make sure you use them. Get together.
I've already signed mine up for next week to do the advanced admin certificate.
Have you really?
Yep.
I feel like I got to study.
I've been studying. I was just waiting for the certificates to come in.
Oh, check it out, David and Parker Harris.
Are you sharing with these?
Parker was everywhere during that.
Yes, Parker was.
You can you see the pictures?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Then great.
Yeah, Parker was pretty much everywhere. What's
I was just
going on
chilling
here?
I was just chilling there.
All right.
Oh, I was chilling right there too.
David found a bike in that last picture.
Yeah, yeah.
That was the what was that? The big party after that?
Yes, this was actually like what we slowly made our way to.
Yes,
I believe. This was at the Warfield. They had a band nobody ever heard of play, and it was
excellent.
It was okay. I mean, it was okay, but I didn't hear a lot of raving from them. But you know what? I had a great time. So
yeah, we had a blast.
Absolutely.
And
so
it's tough
is,
that last year to follow up with Lenny Kravitz.
Oh yeah, well, it's hard to follow
admit,
that show.
And I really did enjoy the show. I mean, I had a lot of fun hanging out and seeing the show. This is Jessica Langston. For those of you who don't know, she is actually one of the people that's in charge of the developer user group. She's the person that we tend to report to or gives us information.
Yeah, she's in charge of the Salesforce community, actually. So it's user groups, it's all the things like the women in tech, all the groups, not just developer groups.
So if you went to the community booth, more than likely you ran into her. David and I both had the chance to work the community booth and kind of help people work towards finding out their
either join a group or get involved or start your own group if you don't have one. Yeah.
So Mary Scotton, always a pleasure to see her.
Yeah.
So
I don't think you guys. Speaking of Mary, I don't know if you guys attended it, but Monica and invited me over to it. But they did like a tribute to Mary. She was not expecting it, and it was awesome. They had confetti flying everywhere. Gave Mary her own special.
She deserves it.
Mary is awesome. Mary is awesome. She's a friend of ours. She's come to our meetup group in the past and presented to us and gave it hung out with us. She's great people and she deserved it for sure.
Yeah.
So this was Amanda Chung. For those of you who don't know Amanda Chung,
you missed it.
I know I'm going back slowly.
That is not Amanda.
Amanda Chung. Amanda Chung is the person who draws all the badges that we see on a regular basis, and I'm holding them even though you can't see me. All the badges that you see when you go to Trailhead, if you don't work for Salesforce, she is the one who does all the artwork for all of that. She's the one who does all the artwork for Astro and for Cody and everything. So if there is something you love about Trailhead, I was going to say Trailsforce. If there's something you like about Trailsforce, more than likely she has done something with it and absolutely amazing story. If you ever get a chance to read her Trailblazer story, amazing. I know my daughter is a big fan of hers as well. We ran into Charlie Isaacs,
yeah.
More Salesforce Tower.
Salesforce Tower picture.
Oh, we're finally seeing Steve here.
Yes.
Steve got Einstein and his Trailblazer hoodie. You definitely couldn't find enough Trailblazer hoodies.
No.
While they're at the convention.
One of the other cool things, well, actually, we got a couple of cool swags, but the little Bluetooth speaker that looks like an acorn, that was pretty cool that we all got.
Yes.
And then, if you did the virtual reality experience that they had, where you got to paddle down in the canoe down the river and shoot the Trailhead badges, then you got one of the mini Salesforce drones, which was awesome.
Yep, I immediately gave it to a coworker. Oh, here we are.
Wait, go back one more.
Yeah.
I think that was the corner that we. Oh no, it wasn't. Never mind. That was something else.
So Salesforce Tower's in the background. Apparently we missed it in that shot. More concert photos. I know there's one in here of all the swag. So this is the Trail booth.
There's a lot of swag.
Trading Post.
There's a lot of swag there.
A lot of swag there. I mean, like, there were tons of sessions going on. If you, for instance, like, and a lot of times there were things for hands-on that you might not have the opportunity to do outside of these events, like the IoT badge.
We did one with where we got a little device and we put it in the refrigerator and it'll tell you when the door's open and how cold it is, what the humidity is inside the refrigerator. Really cool. And we couldn't do that unless you ordered the device and had it sent to your house and whatnot.
So this image amuses me because you'll notice I'm not in it, but I'm totally in it. The problem is we took like 4 or 5 of these things, and I kept having to get up and then sit down, and then 10 seconds later someone wanted to take another photo. And by this point, and it seems like the only ones that got shared on social media were after this point when I had given up and said I'm not standing on this thing anymore, and so I'm not in these pictures.
You can see Steve's head right there.
Steve's right here.
My head's further behind him.
And Megan's tucked in there a couple of spots. But how about Adam and Michael having the 15 certifications each?
Yeah.
Oh,
in
awesome.
that picture. There's a lot of certifications floating around that one picture.
Oh my gosh, this is like our first day. I can't believe all of us are in this photo. I left my backpack in the river, and I'm trying to save it.
And we didn't get wet.
And we didn't get wet.
We did good. Yeah, we survived. Look at the size of that fish you caught.
Oh my gosh, you can actually see my eye. Oh. No, so I mean, overall, I had an absolutely fantastic time. I would love to go again. I think probably one of the things that, I mean, if I had to say like something bugged me the most, it was the fact that there really wasn't enough advanced development topics.
Material, yeah.
Right. Most of it was stuff I'd either touched on, played with, or needed more information on, where maybe a demo or a much more in-depth view on it would have been helpful for me. So.
And they had the area where you could earn, you had to get the TrailheaDX badge that you had to create or finish a trail while you were there.
Right. And
then you had the hack sections the 8 different hacks that you had to try to figure out.
Yeah. Once again, like a classic Salesforce.
It was a little challenge.
Same deal as Dreamforce. You just you have a lot more opportunity to do them because there's a lot less people doing them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So before we end this episode, I do have a big announcement. It's not like a huge announcement, but it's definitely worth something noting for anybody who's watching and has had any interest in Heroku. I said Heroku. I didn't mean Heroku. What I meant was the Welkin Suite. All right. I know a lot of members of our user group have asked us about what we knew about the Welkin Suite. I know a lot of other people have asked me what I know about the Welkin Suite. But I really don't have good answers for you. And I figured the absolute best way to get you those answers would be to schedule a live demo with the guys over at, or the people over at the Welkin Suite. So we're going to be doing our very first morning episode on Monday, the 24th. We're going to be airing at 8:30 a.m. Eastern and 7:30 a.m. Central, which is where Ryan will be. But we're going to have one of the developers who works on the Welkin Suite's Force.com IDE come on to answer any of your questions live. Okay, so he's not just going to be here to give a demo. He wants to make sure that anybody who has a question can get the best answer that is available to them at that time.
That'll be cool. Now the Welkin Suite is got a lot of cool things, but I mean I don't know half of the features.
Right, and that was the whole reason I wanted
I'm
to
really
get with
excited to see what they've got to show. I have used it a little bit in the past, but it's been a few years, so I really don't know what they've added. I have no clue whatsoever. So this is going to be cool.
Well, and I knew that, like, I know when we talked about IDEs in a previous episode, I'd said it was cloud-based. Apparently it's not. It's client-based. So it's something you're going to have to download. But we're going to cover all of this information and much more. So please bring your questions and join us 8:30 a.m. Monday, July 24th on System.Debug. And we're going to try to make sure that you all leave much more educated than I am right now. So, Steve, I want to thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Man, thanks for the invite. It was a pleasure, and it's definitely a lot of fun. Love to do it again sometime.
No, we'll definitely have you on again. Yeah. David, as always.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for not making fun of me on air.
Well, I'll make fun of you off air.
I'm okay with that. I can deal with that.
When I'm a guest, I can't make fun of you. If I was one of the hosts, it would be a different story.
Exactly.
I'm a guest. I'm supposed to be the nice one,
That's right.
When RJ comes back, he can make fun of me.
Speaking of RJ and Ryan will be returning for the 24th episode. So we look forward to seeing you all then. You all have a great night. Steve, thanks again. David, thanks again.
Absolutely, buddy.
And everybody else, thanks again. Have a great night.
Steve,
wait, do we have any questions? I just realized.
Oh, yeah. Did we get anything?
I don't know how. All right. Well, I apologize. Unfortunately, I don't know how to run chat. All right. Cool. So we don't have any questions. So have a great night. We'll talk to you all later.
See you guys.
Yeah.